Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We changed up a few things here, just trying to make sure that y'all can hear me. One of my sisters told me that my videos weren't coming in quite as clear as I wanted to, so I wanted to make sure that everybody could hear me just fine on all devices. Got my microphone set up and everything else. So let's get straight into the video today. We are talking about beta readers and the first readers that are ever going to read your manuscripts. There are quite a few different kinds of people who are going to read your book before it's officially published to the public. And I just wanted to go through the list with you guys and let you guys know what they are, who they are, where you can find them, and what kind of services they offer you as readers and critique partners. So let's get started. First and foremost are going to be your alpha readers. These are the absolute first readers for your book. They are going to be able to help you figure out, whether or not this is a good story idea or whether or not there's enough there for a story. These are typically your friends, your family, people you know in real life that you can just pass off a physical copy of your manuscript to and just be like, hey, could you read this for me? And take a look at it and all that sort of stuff. And they can usually get back to you pretty quickly, but they're not going to have as detailed of remarks. They're not going to be able to give you plans for how to fix the things that they feel are wrong in your manuscript. I mean, unless they do, which is absolutely great. But typically, your alpha readers don't really read all that much. They got other life stuff, and that's just fine, Not everybody is an avid reader. Next up, we have your beta readers. These readers are going to be a little bit more in depth with their ability to help you with your manuscript. These readers know more about reading in general. They'll be able to help you with plot holes, and they can also help with a few grammatical mistakes like misspellings and stuff like that. Just stuff that's a little bit easier to catch for those that read a little bit more frequently. These people are going to be mostly outside of your friend group. They should be found pretty easily on social media or even through your blog. You never know. So just keep an eye out for beta readers. There's actually quite a few groups on Facebook that specialize in beta readers. So go and search that if you're looking. NaNoWriMo is also a great place to look to find beta readers. If you're going through NaNoWriMo, look through, see if you can find somebody within your local group. They'll be able to help out with a lot of different things. And as you're going through NaNoWriMo, they might be able to help you as you're drafting, which is great. It's always great to have help no matter what stage of the process you're in. With beta readers, you want to be a little bit more organized than what you were with your alpha readers. You want to make sure that you're keeping track of who all is reading your books, who all is responding back to your emails and everything else, who's answering the questions that you send out, and whether or not they're answering them in quick, succinct answers, or whether or not they're giving you detailed descriptions of what is right or wrong in your book. So just keep that in mind. You want to keep good contact with these people, and you might even be able to develop friendships that lead right into your critique partners, which are actually your next readers. Now, critique partners are writers too, and they're generally going to be in the same genre as your book. They're going to specialize in that genre. They'll either write in it or they'll specialize in reading in it. And as writers, the thing that sets beta readers and critique partners apart is they will offer an exchange of work. They're going to give you something to read and review and go through and everything else. And they're going to ask you for help. And it's something to be prepared for. Critique partners are great friends to have, and they're going to help build your enthusiasm. They're going to be able to be there to help you, give you the kick in the pants you need when you need it. I'm actually needing a critique partner lately, so hopefully in the process of searching for a beta reader, I can get a critique partner as well and maybe build up an advanced team, which is another thing that really helps to bring together your novel. Critique partners also offer some very in-depth help. They're going to be able to figure out genre specific things that you may need to fix, or they'll be able to tell when you're going outside of your verb tense a little bit more closely than most beta readers would. And you'll often find critique partners, in your beta reader process. These are the people that are going to stand out a lot. They're going to offer a lot of help. And, if you look into them, they might even be writing things that you'll enjoy reading. So just keep an open mind when you're doing your beta reader process and make sure that you're not trying to overwork your beta readers or critique partners, because that can lead to some rocky relationships online. So the next step are your sensitivity readers. Now, these readers will be in specific groups that have some more sensitive topics. Think LGBTQ+, think, mental or physical health disorders and illnesses, and, even a race that's outside of your own. If you're writing your main character as a race that isn't your own, it's going to be difficult. You may find yourself falling into stereotypes. You may find that you're believing in fallacies that don't really exist. It's a good idea to get a sensitivity reader because they can help to point out where those stereotypes are, where there are fallacies, where, your ideas and your opinions are frankly wrong, because it is possible. We're all humans. It's fine. But, sometimes we're wrong and sometimes we need that pointed out. There are plenty of books out there where I'm pretty sure they didn't search for sensitivity readers, and it can get pretty hairy sometimes when you're dealing with groups that you don't really know, groups that you don't really interact with on a regular basis. And so if you're trying to reach out, that's great, and it can really help in developing your writing style and your voice, but it can really offend some people if you publish this book and you intended it to help and it just doesn't. Like, if there are just wrong ideals and opinions and you put this book out there, it's going to offend a lot of people if you don't have a sensitivity writer to help you realize, hey, this is wrong, but this is how you can fix it. You were wrong in this point, but we can bring it back to here and we can expand in a different direction. It's all about just making sure that you have all the information that you possibly can. And sensitivity readers are a great way to do that. After your sensitivity readers, you're going to want to try and see if you can find an editor. And editors are usually paid for their services because, well, they're kind of the next step in getting published if you're going for the traditional route. If you're going for self-publication, you may not have to worry about an editor as much. It's still a good idea if you can afford it, because editors really do help. They want to help build your story. They want to help build your brand and everything else. And if they notice that you're not quite as consistent as you should be from chapter to chapter or paragraph to paragraph, they can really help improve the flow of your manuscript and your novel. Now, as I said, editors are usually paid. There is one trick that I know of that I heard from a long time ago. It was through Motivation to Move with Scott, and it was a great program. It was a great tip, but I think it fits more with nonfiction authors because It's a little bit easier with nonfiction to be able to go through and make sure that all the facts are correct. So with fiction, there's a little bit more wiggle room there. So, but for nonfiction, the trick that I know of is you can go to like a local community college, and you can post up like somewhere on the board or even on the website, hey, I'm looking for an editor for this book, for this type of book. And sometimes you can get somebody who's just looking to start getting their name out there and to break into the business. And as long as you do credit them, half the time they'll do it for free, as far as I know. And I would not suggest doing this just to get a free editor, because of course they're going to have different opinions, different ideas from you, and especially when they're new, they may not entirely know how to express that correctly. So just keep in mind that if you are writing a nonfiction book and you decide to go this route and take on this tip, just keep in mind that you may need to work with a few different ones instead of just going with one and writing that all the way through. So just keep that in mind. Keep an open mind when it comes to this. Your next readers are going to be your agents. Now, your agent may or may not read through your entire manuscript. They may just take your query letter, and they may take like the first chapter or two, and they may go from there. And that's great. Any agent that can do that definitely has my respect, because yeah, there's a lot that goes through a book. And a lot of agents they're really great at their job, which is why it can take so long to get an agent. There's a reason why it's called the query trenches. You're blasting out emails trying to find an agent, and you may not get one. It may take a while, and that kind of rejection is a little hard to deal with. It's one of the things that causes a lot of writers a lot of depression as they're going through that stage. They build up this book in their mind, and the moment they hit that, what feels like a stop, like a full stop on their ride, it's devastating. It shouldn't be something that you should really allow to stop you from pursuing it. Keep trying to find an agent. Do your research. Make sure that any agent you're querying will accept your submissions. Make sure that they focus on the genre that you're writing in, and make sure that you're not just reading the rejection and not getting anything out of it. If you get a rejection that is very well crafted, very well written, and slightly long, take that and use it, because that rejection right there is a glimmer of hope. It's a rejection for now. This agent is trying to tell you that, hey, if you just do a little bit to fix this novel, I could possibly consider it. The same thing for editors too. They'll send out those kinds of rejection letters too. And if you ever get one like this, sit down with your manuscript and fix it. Fix it as best as you can to what they were saying. You likely have a bite. Agents are the people that are going to work with you to find a publisher. They typically don't get paid until after the book is published. And once it is published, they're going to take a small percentage for themselves. And for everything that they do, all the help they can give and everything else, that is a very, very small price to pay to be able to get that kind of help and concern and just somebody to talk to, somebody to push you. Because, let's face it, a lot of us writers need someone like that. After you've gone through your agent, after you've selected your publisher, even after your first run of your novel, you're going to have another set of readers that you're going to want to get before you really start promoting your book, because this is the first step in promotion and marketing. It's the first step before you really start seeing that jump in sales. And these are your ARC readers. ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copy. And these are always going to be your first edition, first run novels. They're going to have the beautiful cover. They're going to have, the beautiful binding and everything. They're going to look like a book because that's what they are. They are the first edition and the first run of your book. Make sure you at least keep one copy. But after that, find a good group of people that you trust and give these books out. But let them know that you would really appreciate getting a review after they've read the book. And you can direct them to anywhere where you're going to be selling your book online, whether that's Amazon, whether that's Nook, whether that's, and anywhere where you can really sell your book online. Make sure that they know that it's kind of expected that they'll leave a review. Like, don't make it mandatory, obviously, because anybody who says something along the lines of, I was given this book on the condition that I'm going to review it, a lot of book review places will automatically take down the review because that review was technically bought. So don't make it mandatory. Just make sure that the reader knows that you would appreciate a review after they're done reading it. And make sure to let them know, hey, I wouldn't mind a very honest review, Obviously, you don't want them to tear your book apart, which is why I say, make sure that you trust this person before you give them your book. But as long as you do trust them and you know that they at least appreciate the genre of your book, then yes, definitely give them a copy. You could even sign it, and that could be just a little bit more incentive. It's just like, hey, I really appreciate that you've been with me from, this point in my journey onward, and here is an advanced reader copy with my signature in it, and just thank you for being there with me. If you don't mind, and if you have the time, please leave a review just to where then I can help get the word out for my book. Something as simple as that. Because most people will understand, hey, you're trying, you want to get this book out, you want to try and get as many sales as possible, and that you really do appreciate any help that they can give. So, yes, make sure that they do know that it's appreciated to leave a review. In any case, guys, I know I said I was going to put out the call for beta readers, and I'm still working on that. There was a lot more to figure out than what I realized. I still need to get my questionnaire together. I still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to keep track of a lot of these submissions and everything else. So definitely keep an eye out on, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, because I'm going to be posting all over there to try and help me to get everything together and just keep an eye out for it. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you liked this video, please leave a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way then you'll be notified every single time I post, which is every Saturday at 4 o'clock. And I will talk at you later. Bye!